What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to FudgeMuppet, the place of Elder Scrolls and Fallout fandom, a place where you can nerd out with us all about all the minute details of these games that just fill you with joyful glee. I'm Scott, and today I wanted to have a look at Fallout 4. I recently started a fresh playthrough of Fallout 4, and I'm actually really enjoying it, despite being conscious of its flaws. As we all know, Fallout 4 received a ton of flack from fans. Voice acting, hard to roleplay, couldn't be evil, removal of skills, etc, the list goes on. But it's a beautiful sunny day today, so I thought it would be nice to be nice and positive, set aside my criticisms for a bit and focus purely on the positive, things that Fallout 4 added to the franchise that were actually good. So we created a list of 5 things that Fallout 4 did right. Let's get right into it with one of the most sensational additions to the franchise. Really cool power armor. Thick, bulky, chunky power armor. Now, power armor's always been cool, but if you go back to New Vegas or Fallout 3 and have a look at the power armor now, it really looks like men dressed in tin can armor by comparison. It's got no oomph. But in Fallout 4, power armor is like stepping into a walking tank, just like power armor is described in the lore. It's tall and heavy. When you land on the ground, it's a massive thud. Even as you walk, it sounds like a big-ass tank is stomping down the streets. The Brotherhood of Steel looked way more intimidating in Fallout 4, as every single power-armored soldier with a Gatling laser looked deadly. I was also fond of how you aren't simply carrying a set of power armor in your inventory, but it worked more like a vehicle. Oh, and let's not forget the various modifications that you could make to your power armor. I mean, this time round, it had a jetpack. You could use it to jump to places you couldn't reach and perform some pretty awesome movie moments in combat. And that's just the jetpack. There's the Tesla coils, explosive vents for landing, and heaps of passive benefits. Power armor customization was just awesome, especially considering you could give it different paint jobs, which is especially important for people like us who love playing virtual Barbie for making character builds. Next up, we have something else armor-related, a callback to the Morrowind system of old, the layered armor system. This was just so nice. I just wish they went even further down the rabbit hole with this, giving even more options for layering, but when you simply compare the layered armor system of Fallout 4 to the other games in the franchise like New Vegas or Fallout 3, it's a hands-down win. This adds bounds more customization opportunities, creating many aesthetic choices for your characters. Want a baseball-themed raider? That's possible. Throw on the baseball uniform and dump various pieces of raider armor over the top. Maybe you're just addicted to Mad Max and instead you want to wear road leathers and put some leather armor on top, but maybe make one of the arms metal armor for that patchy wasteland look. Quite simply, this system gives you a wealth of opportunities for some of that aesthetic creation, and we also haven't even mentioned the modifications yet. Small aesthetic differences with modifications like shadowed making it black, or studded adding metal studs to the leather, or metal armor getting all polished and shiny. This was really cool. All this stuff is absolutely awesome, and I'm so glad that it entered the Fallout franchise. Now for a less conventional idea, but you know what Fallout 4 improved a lot, at least in my opinion? The city environment. The urban city areas of Boston felt dense, dangerous, and were really fun to explore. It added a new verticality mostly unseen in previous games, allowing you to climb buildings, jump across rooftops, access tucked away loot. It was really fun, especially when you throw in the random moments in combat. Firefights in the cities are the best, frantically taking cover as super mutants hail bullets at your position. You throw a grenade which blows up a car as well as the mutants, but suddenly to your right there is a raider sniping at you from a rooftop, and then you sprint for cover and return with an awesomely placed headshot, sending the raider's bloody corpse tumbling off and plummeting to the ground. It's these kinds of moments that weren't really possible before. Walking the streets of Boston only to be startled by firefights in the distance, or conversations of raiders about how they killed their last victim. It was all these factors that made the city feel alive and dangerous. You never knew if you were going to run into raiders, super mutants, mirelurks, ghouls. Hell, even if you were unlucky enough, maybe a deathclaw. Speaking of which, Fallout 4 improved enemy creatures so much. Both physically and behaviorally, these creatures were diverse and interesting. Feral ghouls lay hidden and dead like corpses only to jump at unsuspecting passerbys. I can always remember that uncomfortable sound as I walked into a room and heard the soft grumble of ghouls and the shambling of their bodies. Mirelurks had nests of lots of baby mirelurks that burst from eggs to attack you, and mirelurks themselves almost had these impenetrable shells that even reflected lasers. And that's not to mention the mirelurk queen that shot toxic gunk and was quite simply one big bad lady crab who came to ruin your day, especially when they just came out of nowhere. Oh, and let's not forget the boys. The Mirelurk Kings were cool too, far more agile and dashing around as you try to get a straight shot between their eyes. And guys, the coolest thing is that was just the Mirelurks. You have the blood bugs and stingwings, which were annoying, but they would be sitting on trees or walls dormant, maybe feasting on a Brahmin corpse, and then all of a sudden they spring out and charge after you, stabbing you and sucking the blood from your body. Rad scorpions and mole rats burst from the earth beneath you as they attacked, only to disappear again and dive away so you cannot counterattack. Deathclaws surprised you by jumping out of sewers or climbing buildings, ducking and weaving so you can't fire upon it. They even took giant swings with their claws, causing dirt to fly at you and stun you, or even sometimes knocking cars flying in your direction. And also the awesome animations where the Deathclaw actually picks you up and rips you to shreds. This was all really cool and really made fighting creatures way more fun and rewarding. And finally, we have the fifth thing Fallout 4 did right, and that was the Brotherhood of Steel. I thought the Brotherhood of Steel were absolutely awesome this time around. Let's put aside the philosophical differences and the authoritarian dictatorship stuff aside. Just fess up, the Brotherhood looks sick. They have the coolest armor, weapons, vertibirds, power armor, the Pridwin, hell, even Maxon's coat looks dope. I think aesthetically they nailed the Brotherhood this time round. When I'm roaming the wasteland and I see a vertibird swoop down with power armored knights jumping to the ground with their earth-shattering stomps and then proceeding to mow down wasteland scum with their Gatling lasers, it's just such an awesome feeling. Even flying in a vertibird was cool. I'll never forget one of those early Brotherhood missions where you attack a fort covered in super mutants while shooting a minigun from the side of a vertibird. There is even a behemoth tossing rubble at you mid-flight. It truly is epic, and that really is what makes the Brotherhood stand out. They're just epic. Whether you are by their side fighting hordes of synths or you're going on a sabotage mission with Deacon going to blow up the Pridwin, they're just epic. And philosophically, they are far more interesting. A balance of both the goody two-shoes East Coast Brotherhood from Fallout 3 and the all I give a shit about is tech West Coast Brotherhood from all the other games. It just sort of provided a really cool faction, and whether he is your leader or is your villain, Maxon was really, really well done. So yeah, basically the Brotherhood of Steel and Fallout 4 were beast. Love them or hate them, you can't deny they are the aesthetics crew of the Commonwealth. So that's it, my list is empty. Let me know what you guys thought about this list. What else do you think Fallout 4 did right? Perhaps even suggest some video ideas, maybe even what Fallout 4 did wrong. Let us know what you want to see. Social media links are in the description where you can follow us on Twitter, which is where all the action happens. That's where we have all the juicy convos about the juicy stuff. So we will see you there. Subscribe for heaps of Elder Scrolls and Fallout content. I'm Scott from FudgeMuppet, and I'll see you next time.